Now we want to turn to what's happening down at the State House in Indianapolis. House Republicans have approved a bill there that would ban all gender-affirming care for children in the state. That bill now sits in Governor Holcomb's office awaiting his signature. Now, mind you, this is happening in Indiana at the same time that a wave of anti-LGBTQ legislation is drafted in states across the country. Our partners at Local News Live spoke with Governor Holcomb for just a few minutes today about this. Have a listen.
Bill banning all gender-affirming care for minors in Indiana is now sitting on the governor's desk.
Joining us now is Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb. Governor, can you confirm whether or not you plan to sign this legislation? Just break it down for us.
Sure. The bill made its way through the General Assembly over the last few months. We will sine die or adjourn no later than the end of April. This bill has made its way, as you just stated, to my desk. It was signed yesterday by the Senate President Pro Tem, then it goes to the Lieutenant Governor, then it makes its way down to my office, and I will thoroughly vet every single bill and spend extra time as needed on bills that aren't part of my agenda. And I want to make sure I get every question answered, and this bill is fairly comprehensive, and so it has more than one part. So we'll have a shot clock of 7 days to make an ultimate decision, and later today and the days following, I'll have every question answered on this specific bill, keeping in mind that I'm not a doctor and I want to make sure that I have access to all the professional opinions that went into all the testimony and all the hearings over the past few months.
Certainly you've got a lot to look at there, and we will hopefully hear back from you and can chat with you a little bit more. As you think about that, Governor, I want to ask you, what role do you believe government should play when it comes to people making decisions about their bodies?
Well, we have a role in multiple ways in not just the personal responsibility and the rights of an individual, but from A to Z. And so these things are appropriately debated in the People's House, represented by citizens with various backgrounds, various areas of expertise, and they are discussed, as they are around the country, what is for the betterment of society and as an individual. And so, again, these are citizen legislators, and this bill is just a perfect example of what's on minds of not just Hoosiers, but on Americans at large.
Well, certainly, as Deborah mentioned earlier, we hope to follow up with you when these 7 days are up and you're done vetting this bill and ultimately what your decision is, whether you decide to sign it or not.
And I won't try to run the clock out. I'm not looking for the full 7 days, but that has, we've arrived at that week just to give enough time for this very reason. We have a lot of bills that are going to be coming through. As I mentioned, we've only got about a month left, a little less than a month, before everyone goes back home. These are part-time legislators. So there's a lot to go over, not just on this bill, but a lot of other bills as well. And so that 7 days just gives a governor access to individuals who have more expertise in all these different areas, whether it's on economic development or education or workforce training or public health or an individual's health, alcohol laws. Literally, they just go from A to Z, and they include minors, and they include parents, and they include everyone that makes up our great state.
We hope you'll come back and share a little bit about what went into your decision here on Local News Live.
Governor Eric Holcomb,
Happy to.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you both very much.
Now, whether it's bills like the one being considered by Governor Holcomb now, a transgender health care bill, or legislation about drag shows or trans athletes, the ACLU has the tally at 434 different bills targeting LGBTQ rights across the United States this year alone. Indiana can claim at least 5 of those bills. And if the governor signs the current bill on his desk banning gender-affirming care, Indiana will join at least 9 other states doing the same thing. Opponents of the bill say that lawmakers fail to understand that access to things like hormone therapies or for trans kids can be life-saving treatments. To add to that, Indiana health officials have testified that treatments currently available to minors are both safe and reversible, and that no gender surgeries are even offered to minors currently anyway. So how do you feel about this? Which way do you think the governor should vote? Do you have a story you want us to look into? If you have any of that, we'd love to hear it from you. Give us a call on the tip line, 376-0281. You can scan the QR code on your screen to send us a tip directly from your smartphone, or you can find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We'll be right back.